Super Mario 64 is one of the 3D platformers of all time, and what I would say is my least favorite 3D Mario game of the bunch. Not because it's a bad game, but mainly because it has a lot of archaic designs that just drain the fun out of me every time I revisit this game. And if it were up to me, I would just skip this game in terms of RetroAchievement masteries and move on to Super Mario Sunshine, which is not only my favorite 3D Mario game, but it's also my favorite non-Mario and Luigi game. But because I have to tackle this game, especially if I want to tackle the superior remake on the Nintendo DS or just do ROM hacks of this game, why not do it now and master Super Mario 64 by getting all 114 achievements using the RetroAchievements website, which allows you to get achievements for your favorite retro games from the NES to the PlayStation 2 with everything in between. And also achieving it while playing through hardcore mode in order to master the game. So I first tried to master this game for the first time back in 2022. And this set was way different from what the set looks now, which featured certain achievements that require you to perform speedrunning techniques in order to get certain achievements, which ended up with me dropping the set because, like I mentioned many times by now, I'm not a speedrunner and I don't like to perform game-breaking skips or glitches. Thankfully, jumping to 2024, where the main set received a lot of revisions, the final product ended up being the set you are seeing on screen right now. And this set might tie with Toy Story 2 as one of the best sets I've mastered so far for this channel. So let's see what wacky shenanigans we find ourselves by mastering Super Mario 64 for the... Do I really need to say the console? The game begins with Mario receiving a letter from Princess Peach telling us to meet her at her castle since she has some cake for us, and as we get this panoramic view of the castle, we see a green pipe where our fat hero jumps into action. As we head inside the castle, we have the strange feeling that something is amiss in this place. And lo and behold, it turns out that Bowser has stolen the castle's power stars and trapped everyone else inside the walls. However that works, considering there's Toads literally sitting on the floor, but whatever. So it's up to Mario to retrieve the power stars, stop the evil Koopa King, and save the princess. So the way I'm going to structure this video is very similar to Toy Story 2, where I will go through each world and try to get as much done as I can before moving on to the next level, which at the end of the day ended up being much simpler than Toy Story 2, especially since there are achievements where you must get specific stars without the need of certain abilities that you would usually get later, only to return to those worlds and get the stars the right way. So starting up, we have Course 1, Bob-omb Battlefield. And right off the bat, we have 5 different achievements we can work on. But for now, I'm going to focus on 2 of them specifically. The first one is to reach the top of the mountain without pressing the A button. This one is very simple, and there are 2 points where it can get tough. The first one is this plank where you need to balance it to the point that you can get up to the platform, which is easier said than done considering the game's physics. It did take a couple of attempts, but I managed to get up no problem. And the second tricky part is this gap right before the king, where you need to do either a recovery after a dive or do a slide kick, which is what I ended up doing. But after you get past those 2 points, we can reach the top no problem and get our very first achievement of the set. And as we reach the top, we confront King Bob-omb, where we predictably have a damageless achievement, with the extra challenge that you can't take damage throughout the entire stage. This fight is very easy. Just grab him from behind and chuck him 3 times, and make sure he starts moving once you throw him, otherwise he will lock onto Mario indefinitely. So wait a little bit and then grab him and chuck him again in order to get our first boss achievement, as well as our very first power star, which will grant us another achievement. So like I said at the beginning, I'm going to try to get as much as I can when it comes to getting stars and achievements in a course before moving on to the next. But in order to avoid this video lasting 4 hours, I'm going to bypass stars that don't have achievements tied to them, since there are countless of playthrough videos of this game. It's not even funny. But as usual, if you want to check my experience with Super Mario 64, you know the drill. Check my archives channel for the full run, and with that said, let's return to the battlefield and race a giant turtle. Star 2 has us race Koopa the Quick, where you need to reach the top of the mountain first and without using a cannon, which you can activate by talking to a specific Bob-omb buddy in the level. But as for the race, we have a bonus achievement where we need to win the race in less than 34 seconds. This time may seem tight, but it's very doable. Just kick your way up this wide slope by holding A and mashing the B button in order to not lose your grip and slide off, and then take the warp and you'll make it just fine. Even though I had no idea there was a time limit, meaning that I got this achievement by complete accident. And also, as a warning, the achievement will not pop until you talk to Koopa. So if the achievement doesn't pop when you finish the race, just be patient. I know it's hard, but be patient. Star 3, we need to reach the floating island, And for this one, we have a challenge of getting the star without using a cannon. Now you can get this star with a well-timed long jump, but there's an easier way to get this achievement that surprisingly hasn't been added as a restriction, so I'll take it. Star 4, we have to search for 8 red coins that will give us a star if we manage to find them all. And for almost every course, we have the challenge of collecting the red coins and star without taking damage. This one is very easy, with fall damage being what's mostly going to end your run. But if you go slowly, this one is very simple and we can get our next achievement no problem. Star 5, we have Mario Wings to the Sky, where we need to use a special power-up in order to get the star more easily. Can you tell where this is going? This achievement relies a lot in trial and error, where you need to aim at the right angle in order for you to grab all 5 coins locating in the middle of these coin rings. And as we took turns getting fire from the cannon, I took the opportunity to grab the 1-ups located throughout the level in order to get an achievement where you need to grab all 1-ups in a single visit of a stage, which this will apply to most courses of the game. But after grabbing the last one, more like the last one grabbing me, we finally get the 5th and last coin and grab our next achievement and star. And for our final star of course 1, we need to ground pound the peg and release the chain chomp so that it breaks the metal barrier and grab the last star of the course. Now there is one more star remaining, which is the 100 coin star, which you can get by getting 100 coins in a course. However, we're going to get this one later once we actually come back to this level, when we have the means to get the achievement on getting the star in the floating island. Jumping into course 2, we arrive at Whomp's fortress, where we need to reach the top and confront the Whomp King in a damageless dispute. Thankfully, the trek to the king is very simple, and the fight itself is an absolute joke thanks to the amazing jank of the N64. Star 2 has us reach the top of the fortress again, this time featuring a large tower built atop the grave of the Whomp King, where we must do the civic duty of getting shot by the only instance of bullet bills in Super Mario 64, so that their purpose must be fulfilled. After getting shot in the face, we grab the star at the top and we get our next achievement for collecting 8 stars and opening the way to the first Bowser stage. Star 3, we need to use this cannon in order to get the star underneath the blue coin switch, unless you do a specific wall jump not only to get the star more easily, but also get an achievement, assuming you can manage the terrible wall jumping mechanics of this game, because my god, this is awful. Star 4 is another red coin star with another damageless achievement. And while I was going for the star, I also decided to go for the 100 coin star as well as the 1-up achievement. And this level has one of 6 instances of RNG in order to get a 1-up. By getting close to this patch of flowers, you will spawn 3 butterflies. And if you interact with one of them, there is a 33% chance of a butterfly giving you a 1-up, with the other 2 giving you a bomb. And these are by far the worst type of 1-ups, since not only you need to hope that the butterfly you're going after is the one that will give you the life, but you also have to make sure that you manage to get the butterfly in time. Otherwise, it will fly off the course or inside the freaking wall, and you'll have to reset. Thankfully, this butterfly badge is at the beginning of the level, so the backtracking is really not that bad. As for the other 1-ups, we have a runner in the spot, which definitely will not cause pain and suffering because Mario 64 is a perfect game with no flaws whatsoever. We have a green demon and a hidden 1-up you can get by punching this wall of the tower. Ow. Oh my god, I took damage. Oh my god. Okay, so with that dumb mistake, we try to get another star and another achievement after grabbing the 100 coin star. Star 5 requires us to use an owl so that we can drop into this cage and get this star. But with a well-timed cannon shot, we can get the star and achievement by not using the by a long shot in. Oh my god, here it comes, my first death. Incredible. But with a well-timed cannon shot, we can get the star and achievement by not using the owl, no problem. Oh my god. Fucking wall! What the hell is a hitbox? What? But with a well-timed cannon shot, we can get the star and achievement by not using the owl, no problem. And as for the red coin achievement, after taking damage again, as I was right next to the damn star, eventually I got the achievement. Finally, we have star 6, where we need to shoot from the cannon and destroy this wall and grab the star to 100% Whomp's fortress and get our first completion achievement. Heading back to the main room, we see a ray of light, and if we look to the source of the light, we will be transported into our first one-off level, Tower of the Wing Cap. And here we need to glide and grab the red coins, and after screwing up, because of course I would do that, we get all coins and we press the red switch in order to activate all red blocks throughout the game, which will give us another achievement. So now that we unlock the Wing Cap, we can head back into Bob-omb Battlefield and get the 100 coin star by gliding to the floating island and getting all stars in course 1, as well as get star 3 without using the cannon, so that we can get the final achievement of Bob-omb Battlefield for now. Before entering the next course, we head into this hole in the wall and enter a secret aquarium, where we have to collect all red coins before we become a floating corpse. After grabbing the star, we head on to course 3, Jolly Roger Bay. For star 1, we need to get inside the shipwreck, but there's an eel that complicates things. If you're playing the superior Mario 64 DS, you only need to get close to the Unagi to lure it out and go inside the ship. Here though, you need to go in this cave and then backtrack so that the eel gets out of the ship. Now, why the heck do I need to go into a side area to cause an eel to get out of the ship?
That's a good question.
Entering the ship, we solve a chess puzzle, and then we swim as fast as we can to avoid doing some basic platforming, since Mario 64 is a well-made game with no jank whatsoever when it comes to the platforming. Star 2 has us lure an eel again, only this time we need to catch the star that is stuck in its tail. And after almost dying to this stupid worm, we get the star that never scared me when first playing this game, but just annoyed me for how annoying the hitbox for the star is. In Star 3, we need to go back into the cave and solve this treasure chest puzzle, which was copied and pasted into Mario Odyssey. So if you play that game, you'll know where it came from. Star 4 is the red coin mission, this time without a damageless achievement. And just like Whomp's Fortress, I focus on the 100 coin star as well, which for this level it can be a very strict task, since this level only has 104 coins in total. So if you miss a blue coin from this switch, you have to reset the level, otherwise you're gonna end with 99. You gotta love it. Star 5 requires us to use the cannon and grab these stone pillars in order to get the star, but we must find a way to not use the cannon, because of course we don't. Now, the normal way of getting this star without using the cannon is to do a very specific double long jump followed by a wall kick to the platform. However, because Super Mario 64 is a janky game that has very bad input detection, not to mention that the wall jump is one of the worst wall jumps I've ever experienced in a goddamn video game, I go with a much easier method. Finally, we have Star 6, where we need to add some weight in order to collect this star. However, it is possible to get this star with timed button presses so that Mario can outspeed the current and get the final star of course 3, as well as the extra achievement. And as for the 1-up achievement, after failing to get this dumb shroom because what the hell is a hitbox, we get this achievement after clearing out the course. Now before we head into course 4, we go back to the battlefield and get the second warp in order to get an achievement, as well as another warp achievement in the fortress as well. And so we move on to the last course of the first floor, Cool Cold Mountain, where we start things off by entering the cottage and sliding down through a secret pathway that should give you a 1-up. Heading back outside, we get the star and we enter the slide again and get both 1-ups and head outside so that we can get the 3 other lives and get another 1-up achievement. The locations of them are not very hard, which you can see on screen right now. As for the second star, we need to take this penguin from the top of the mountain and take it to her mom at the bottom. And by taking the fast way, we can get the star and commit child genocide in less than 5 minutes. For Star 3, we need to re-enter the cottage and race against this big penguin. And similar to Koopa the Quick, for this one, we are not allowed to use the shortcut. Yeah, basically, if you try to use a shortcut, you're gonna die. Like right here, see? Oh, get out of the way, you fatty. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know if you can actually get to that block by wall jumping. I was just being stupid. I'm sorry, what? Wait, what? The game wanted me to have 69 coins so that I can actually truly win. So now that okay, never mind. All right, just don't jump. Wait for this fat ass to get over here. Well, he's not a fat as yet, but still. Oh my god. That's so stupid. That is so stupid. Star 4, we have the damageless red coin star. And I'm dead. I'm dead. I am dead. I am dead because this game is garbage. Okay, that is 5 deaths, by the way, in this stupid... I'm gonna try something stupid. That was indeed something very stupid. That's my 6th death, by the way. Was that so hard? Was that really so hard? Yes, it was. For star 5, we need to guide the snowball to the lonely snowman's head so that it can have a new body. Very easy, but just don't take shortcuts, otherwise the body will bug out and it will just roll off the stage. Now before getting star 6 and the achievement, I focus on the 100 coin star just to get out of the way, and once we get it, we now have to take this cannon and do some wall kicks in order to grab the star. But we have an achievement where we need to get to this area without touching the platform with the heart. For this achievement, we need to jump on this spinda and then glide to the left and witness the terrible draw distance and land on the platform above the heart. And here you're supposed to do a triple jump followed by a wall jump in order to get to the highest ledge. But because I don't trust the wall kick in this game, I will follow Nathaniel Bandy and use a cheap way by wall jumping from the north wall and get up more easily, giving us an extra achievement, 100% completing course 4, and have enough stars for the second Bowser fight. Now at this point, I would usually head into course 5 before fighting Bowser. But since we need another special ability in order to 100% complete that level, for the final stage before Bowser, I went into the Prince's Secret Slide for both stars and achievements. For the first achievement, we have to collect every possible coin in the level. The only challenge about this coin collector achievement is the blue coin switch at the start of the level. After that, it's just a straight path for the rest of the coins. And if you miss one during the turns, you can perform jump kicks in order to backtrack for the coin. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You cannot be serious. There we go. Once we get an omen for horrible things to come, we now focus on the hardest achievement of the level. Beat the course in 17 seconds or less. For this one, we have to skip the first part of the slide by jumping to the left and either kick or dive into the slide so that Mario doesn't take damage, and get stunned for a couple seconds. I will admit that this timer is a bit strict, but with some practice, it's really not that bad. Oh no! Oh, that was beautiful. Go Mario, go. Go Mario, go. Go Mario, go. Go! 16-6. Incredible. We are the best. Finally, we have the 1-up achievement, and this one is very easy, with the strange inclusion that in order to get the second mushroom, you need to get at least 69 coins? You know what? I'm not complaining with that requirement. So with the slide finished, we head over to the first Bowser stage, Bowser in the Dark World. And for this level, as well as all the other Bowser levels, we need to reach and defeat Bowser without taking damage. Overall, Dark World is not that hard to go through damageless. But if you struggle with this one, I would suggest getting the red coin star and the damageless achievement separately. And as for the 1-up achievement, for some reason, you cannot get all 1-ups until you defeat the second Bowser stage. Which, honestly, I have no idea why they do this, because ironically, you cannot get all the 1-ups in Bowser 2 until you beat Bowser 2, which is very stupid. So we're just going to ignore the 1-ups until we get the second key. So once we make it to the end, we grab the red coin star and we confront Bowser, where we need to get behind him and grab him by the tail so we can swing him around and chuck him into a bomb. The Bowser fights require precision, but because this is the first one, it's really not that bad. But once we throw Gay Bowser into a bomb, he takes his leave and we can grab the very first castle key that will give us access to the castle's basement, as well as getting the first damageless Bowser achievement. Now before heading into the true basement, I return to the room with Jolly Roger to get the 1-up that spawns in the opposite hole from the aquarium, because now we can get the castle interior 1-up achievement, which you must get without entering a course or leaving the castle. After accessing the basement, we head through this door and swim to the other side, so we can pound these pillars, which will not only drain the water in the castle, but it will also drain the moat outside the castle. But before heading out, we touch the 4 corners in this sector to spawn the 1-up and get the achievement. Heading outside, we have this hole that will take us to the second ability level, Vanish Cap under the moat, where we can unlock the Vanish Cap that will allow you to go through certain walls, like this grate at the end of the level. Now, unlike the Wing Cap stage, we do have some 1-ups to grab, with the first 3 being in this initial slide, and the last one right at the end, where you need to collect all the coins in order to spawn it and get the achievement. Give me the 1-up, piece of shit. Alright. Going back into the castle, we spot a boo that will lure us into the backyard of the castle, where we can defeat the big boo, which will drop a cage that will take us to the next course, Big Boo's Hunt. Star 1 invites us to the mansion, where we need to defeat 5 boos in order to summon the Big Boo, which dies incredibly quickly thanks to the power of Mario's big fat ass. Star 2, we need to head into the hut and go down to basically repeat Star 1, except that this time we have a merry-go-round and fire for some reason. But before we actually go down there, I decided to go to the top floor of the mansion by doing a specific wall kick and then take out this big boo on the balcony. After defeating it, we head to the hut and kill the boos in this merry-go-round until we get the big boo. And if we manage to defeat it without taking damage, we will get another achievement for defeating 2 big boos damageless. For Star 3, we need to go through this door on the 2nd floor and solve this book puzzle in order to get to the star. However, this puzzle is very hard for me to solve, so I'll just do a triple jump from the sledge and grab the star like the platforming pro that I am. Now we have the red coin star, and after a very stupid and impossible way of taking damage, after getting hit by the piano, I decided to get the 100 coin star out of the way and get star 6, where you need to grab this vanish cap and make it to the 3rd floor of the mansion by doing a specific wall kick in this room and then go through the boo painting, where we can defeat this Mr. I by running circles around it and collecting the star as well as the 100 coin star. Going back to the red coins, make sure you lure out the piano and be sure to not get squished by the coffins, and you'll get the damageless red coin, no problem. And finally, we have our final star, where we have to return to the balcony and defeat the big boo in order to fully complete course 5. But before moving on, we return to get the 1-ups on top of the shack and the mansion for the last achievement of the level. So now that we've beaten the level, we go into the true basement of the castle and we'll catch Mips the rabbit for another power star, followed by a star given to us by Toad right outside the entrance to course 6, Hazy Maze Cave. Starting off, we head to the left and down this lift and arrive at the cave, where we can take a ride in Dory and get the star on this pedestal. Now before getting the rest of the stars, we head back to Dory and have her take us to this ledge where we can go through this door and go into Hazy Maze Cave again. Let's go! This will take us to the cavern of the Metal Cap, where we can unlock the final capability of the game, the Metal Cap, which will turn Mario into a metal machine, allowing him to destroy everything in his path and walk on water. But here we have a very interesting red coin challenge, where you need to collect the red coins and the star without turning metal again. The best way to get the star is by rushing to the end as fast as possible so you can collect the red coins in the water. And after you collect them all, get the remaining 4 on dry land, hit the switch to unlock the metal caps, and then make a leap for the star and you'll get a very easy achievement. However, we're not done yet with that area since we missed a 1-up back here in the water. Heading back to the Mazy Cave, we have the red coin star, and after clearing out the coins in this small area, I decided to go for the 100 coin star. Motherfucker. Going again, I also went for the 1-up achievement, where we have the first instance of defeating Monty Moles in order to get a 1-up, where you need to defeat 8 of them in order to get the mushroom to spawn. There are 2 Monty spots in the Toxic Maze, one in the Falling Rock area, and the last one before the Dory Cave. I would recommend you get the one in the Falling Rock area first because, well, this room is incredibly treacherous as you've seen. And as we clear out the maze, we return to the red coin area to reclaim the coins as well as get our 100 coin star. For Star 3, we need to return to the Dory Cave and use this metal cap in order to press this button that will open a hole where you need to do 2 long jumps. For Stars 4 and 5, we need to explore the Toxic Maze and go into these holes in order to get the stars. For Star 4, we need to go through the first hole and ride the elevator for a reward. But for Star 5, we need to find a way to get to this star without inhaling the toxic air of the maze. If you manage to pull off a precise jump kick as you enter the maze, you can save yourself from getting affected by the poison. And as long as you keep using the metal cap, this achievement will not be invalidated. But since RetroAchievements wants us to do the fancy way, we just somersault and wall kick this wall in order to get to the star incredibly fast. And by getting this star, we will also have 50 stars, which will allow us to access the 3rd floor of the castle. And of course, give us another achievement. The final star of course 6 requires us to watch for falling rocks and wall kick before the door in order to get the star in just 11 A presses and fully complete Hazy Maze Cave. Going back to the main room of the basement, if we have 50 stars or more, Mips will now have another star, and if you manage to catch him, he will give you his 2nd treasure. And once we catch him again, we can head through this hellish painting and access Core 7, Lethal Lava Land. Why do I suddenly have murderous intentions? The first 2 stars require us to defeat some bullies by dropping them into the lava. Star 1 has only a big bully, while Star 2 requires us to defeat 3 small bullies in order to spawn the big boy himself. But besides that, the way to defeat bullies is incredibly simple, no strings attached. Although there is an achievement that is very annoying, but we'll get later. Star 3 is the red coin star, and for this one we have probably one of the better red coin challenges, as we need to collect this star damageless, but also without pressing the A button. This one took a while to get, to the point that in the case I failed, I decided to move on to the next stars if I didn't get it. But this is by far the easiest red coin star, since the red coins are right next to each other, to the point that they even give you a freaking Bob-omb buddy that tells you where the coins are in the DS version. The fact that they actually did this is incredibly funny. Now, in order to get this one without jumping, you need to perform a lot of dives, which are not hard to perform, but since we failed to get this one mainly because of dumb moves on my part, during my second fail, I decided to go for Star 4, where we need to ride this platform through the lava and then play a balancing game with this log in order to collect the easy star. And after a couple of more failures, we finally get the red coin challenge. I will say that overall, the first gap is definitely the hardest one, but once you manage to pull that one off, the rest of the other jumps are really not that hard. You know what? I'm just gonna dive. Oh my god, I thought the... I thought the fireball was gonna get me. Oh my god. Alright. Are you kidding me? Okay. Stars 5 and 6 require us to go inside this volcano on the center of the level, so that we can get to explore the inside of it. But before we go there, once you reach star 5, this block will spawn at the beginning and will spew out a shell that you can use to make this level a joke. We can now use a Koopa shell. Going inside the volcano, we head up the main path while trying to not get burned and collect the star at the very end. Very simple all around, and definitely will not cause me PTSD in the later future. And before we get star 6, I decided to not only go for the 100 coin star, but also the 2 extra achievements of the course. The first achievement requires us to defeat both big bullies without taking damage or getting pushed around by the bullies. In order to defeat the bullies with ease, just jump on them while facing the lava in order to push them towards the fiery fate. Or you can just use the shell and completely cheese this achievement, because bullies are the worst things in this game and I hate them to death. And speaking of the shell, we also have an achievement where we need to collect 90 coins with the shell. Overall, this one is not that hard, but trying to get the bully coins can be a bit tedious. But as long as you take your time, we can get this and the 1-ups on the starting area no problem, as well as the 100 coin star. And as a slap to the face, it runs away, because fuck 1-ups in Mario 64. So once we collect the 7 1-ups in the outside area, we can go inside the volcano to collect the final 1-up and the final star. We will need to ride these platforms and watch for fire as we climb these poles in order to collect the star and finish with Lethal Lava Land 100%. Our next course is to the left of Lethal Lava Land, where we have this dead end where you can jump into this wall and be transported into shifting sandland. Star 1, we need to punch this annoying bird in order to get the star. Very easy, nothing more to explain. Star 2, we have to reach the top of the pyramid. But here we have one of, if not my favorite achievement in this set. At the start of this level in the structure with the Goombas, we have this box. And basically, we need to carry this box and collect the star while having the box in our hand. The first part with the tox boxes is not hard. Just wait out the boxes and stand on the safe spot so that you don't get crushed. And make sure you go into the middle, otherwise the borders will actually hit you. And after reaching the pyramid, be very careful with the flame chomps and the fly guy at the end. But besides the fear of sliding down, this one is really not that bad. But damn it, this was a fun one to grab, and easily, like I said before, one of, if not possibly my favorite achievement of this entire set. For Star 3, we need to go inside the pyramid, which is very similar to the volcano in Lethal Lava Land, which is basically a side section. For this star, we need to get to the top while avoiding Goombas, amps, and mummified thwomps, okay. But overall, not hard but really fun to pull off, and easily one of the best platforming challenges in the game. Star 4 needs us to stand on 4 pillars on the outside of the level, and once you do so, the top of the pyramid will be destroyed. and you can go inside through a secret hole. As we go inside, we will take an elevator ride, but before we go down, we long jump to the previous star in order to get an extra achievement. Heading back inside from the top, we ride it all the way to the bottom and confront the boss of the pyramid, Rock. And for this fight, we need to attack the hands when its eyes are open 3 times in order to destroy each hand and get the star. And if you're careful, not that it matters since this boss is easy as piss, we will get our next damageless achievement. Star 5 is the red coin star, but thanks to the wing cap, getting this one damageless is stupid easy. And as we get the last coins, we activate the cannon of the level as well as the first warp for an achievement we'll get later. But overall, not a hard red coin challenge and possibly the easiest of them all. Star 6, we need to re-enter the pyramid and solve a puzzle where we need to collect these 5 coins in order to spawn the star. But before doing so, we focus on getting as many coins as possible for the 100 coin star as well as the 1-ups available before entering the pyramid. I forgot to mention that if you die inside the volcano or the pyramid, when you re-enter the level, you'll spawn back inside those areas instead of going to the start select menu and going to the outside area. There are 4 1-ups outside, which I'll show in a quick montage, while the remaining 5 are inside the pyramid. However, while I was going for the 1-ups, this happened. Alright. Oh no. Wait, what? So yeah, I somehow get an achievement by performing all 15 combo moves, those of which I'll show on screen right now. I think I got the last one by doing the kick combo while I was squished, but you know what? I got it somehow by getting squished, so I'll count that as a combo move. Yay. Yeah, I don't know. So going inside the pyramid, we get more coins and 1-ups, one of them requiring you to use the second warp, which will give us an achievement. And as we get the 100 coin star, now we go for the pyramid puzzle, where you need to drop from the top while getting 5 specific coins in order to spawn the star. But as we miss a coin, we head back down in order to collect the remaining 1-ups for the achievement and get the last coins to spawn the star and 100% complete Shifting Sandland, and honestly one of my least favorite worlds because I hate desert worlds. So now we move on to the final course of the basement before Bowser, Dire Docks. And this level contains the only missable achievement in the set. So the way this level works is once you grab the first star of the level entrance will move, giving you access to the Bowser stage. After defeating Bowser, the Bowser sub in Dire will go away and it will be replaced with these poles, which are going to make getting the red coins easier. However, in order to get the missable achievement, we need to get the red coin star before the submarine goes away. With the exception of these 2 coins, getting the other 6 is really easy. You just need to pull up some triple jumps and dives and you'll get them no problem. But for this coin, you have to wall jump from this wall and dive for the coin, and then we have this one. Oh, I did it! Yes! Okay. Don't fuck this up. Oh, I did it. Okay, it's a simple triple jump. Or not. Okay, cool. And there we go, submarine jump for red coins. Now instead of finishing Dire Docks, I decided to get star 1 so that we can have access to the second Bowser level, since if I want to get the 100 coin star, I have to repeat the red coin process again, which now that I'm writing this part, I wish I got the coin star alongside the red coins. But that's okay, let's just grab the star and enter Bowser in the Fire Sea, where we once again have a damageless achievement, but also a 1-up achievement that we cannot get until we beat this level. Now when it comes to the level itself, this one is really not that bad. In fact, to some extent, I'll even say it's actually easier than Dark World. However, this final area with the sinking platforms and the amp can be very difficult to avoid. My recommendation is to take your time, and like I said in Dark World, if you struggle with getting the damageless achievement, I highly recommend you focus on getting the red coin star and then go for the damageless achievement. And as for the Bowser fight, as soon as the battle starts, Bowser will stomp the arena so that you'll fall right into the lava. And since he learned from last time, he will now lock into you to the point that grabbing his tail is almost impossible. But if you make some distance with Bowser, he will do his charge attack, which you can dodge by running out of the way or doing a backflip, giving you the opportunity to grab his tail and chuck him into the bomb. Defeating Bowser a second time, grabbing the key to the second floor, and get our damageless achievement on the first try. Before heading back to Dire, we return to the Fire Sea to get the 1-up achievement, where we have probably the most convoluted 1-up in the entire game, where you need to stand on this platform and activate some hidden triggers that will spawn the mushroom. How the hell did anyone found about this without a guide?
That's a good question.
But after grabbing the achievement, we return to Dyer and get the remaining stars. Star 2 is similar to the one from Jolly Roger, just open the chest in the correct order and you're good. And by grabbing this particular star, we will reach 70 stars, solving the mystery of the endless stairwell, giving us access to the final Bowser fight. Star 3 was the red coins, so we move on to Star 4, which has the same name as Star 6 from Jolly Roger. Originality, folks, you gotta love it. Plagiarism aside, this level does have an extra step, as you need to swim through 5 rings in a row in order to spawn the star. And once we trigger the star, by timing our A presses, we can get the star without the need of the metal cap, giving us a very similar achievement to the one in Jolly Roger. Star 5 is another ring-based star, only this time we need to swim through the rings of this manta ray. The idea for Star 6 is that we need to use both metal cap and vanish cap so that you can go through this gate, but don't get sucked in by this hole which will kick you outside of the castle. But as long as you do the fast swim by timing your A presses, you only need the vanish cap for this star. But I gotta admit that combining both caps is actually something very cool, and I'm honestly surprised that this is the only instance in the entire game where this is required in quotation marks. And as for the 100 coin star, this one is extremely easy. But another reason as to why I'm getting this one now is because we have an achievement on getting star 1 after defeating Bowser in the Fire Sea. After collecting the last star of course 9, we align with the star's shadow and jump from this pole in order to get this star. It's really not that hard, but because of the water, it's very difficult to see where the star is, which makes the achievement name even more funny. Now before heading into the second floor, we return to Bowser in the Dark World and go for the 1-up achievement, since after defeating Bowser in the Fire Sea, more mushrooms spawn in the level for some reason. But overall, it's a very easy achievement since most of the 1-ups are in plain sight. So once we get the achievement, we return to the secret aquarium and swim through this coin ring to spawn a 1-up to get the achievement for that level. And with that, we are basically done with the first floor and the basement, achievement-wise and star-wise. Heading to the second floor, we talk to Toad underneath the stairs in order to get our next castle star, and after that we move on to the next course, Snowman's Land. Star 1, we need to scale the big snowman in the middle and try to avoid his blizzard by taking cover with this penguin. Unless of course we cheese this and stand on the penguin because I'm cheap, leave me alone. Star 2, we have another bully fight, only this time he's blue. And just like Lethal Lava Line, we have a damageless and pushless bully achievement. There is a shell in this level that can help you, but if you time your jumps and lure the bully towards the edge, this one is really not that hard. I accidentally got star 4 before 3, where you need to use the spin dust in the cold water in order to reach the sledge that contains the star, as well as the shell we'll use later for the red coins and another achievement. But for star 3, we need to traverse this ice structure in order to make it into the star, which is really not that hard, and I wish that this ice maze was bigger and as difficult as the 3D maze from Mario RPG, because I'm a goddamn masochist. Star 5 is the red coins, and for this one, we need to go back to the location of star 4 in order to get this shell, which will allow us to get 2 red coins located in this ice water that has the same properties as lava for some reason. And with this shell, we have another coin achievement, as we need to collect 75 coins without losing the shell. Just like Lethal Lava Land, this one took a while, to the point that I got both stars 5 and 6, where we need to go inside this igloo and use the vanish cap to go through this ice wall and get the final star of the course. And as we fail more times to get the shell achievement, I did eventually get the damageless red coin achievement. And after more fumbles, I finally got the shell achievement as well as the 100 coin star after entering the igloo and getting the remaining coins inside of it. And once we get the star, we go outside and get the remaining 1-ups for the achievement after getting the 2 inside the igloo. We also get the very pointless warp in this level, but besides that, we get the remaining mushrooms and finish things off in this snowy landscape. Up next, we have Wet Dry World, and this is our first course where we have an entry gimmick. Depending on what height you enter the painting will determine the level of the water once you select a star. For star 1, I triggered the lowest level since this star can be acquired easily by using the warp in this course and skipping the gimmick of the star, where you need to use these arrow platforms in order to make your way to the star. Star 2, I triggered the highest level and made my way to the top where we encounter a Chuckya. And this enemy has a very interesting achievement, where we need to escape its grasp by either pressing the A button or pushing the control stick 11 times. And because I'm using a PlayStation 3 controller, getting the stick inputs can be very wonky. But after a couple of tries, I managed to get it and managed to get this very simple achievement. And also get the star on top of the level. For star 3, I enter with the water level in the halfway mark, which will give us the achievement for having all 3 levels. And here we have to search for secrets in a way similar but more involved to the pyramid puzzle. This star is very easy and requires a lot of exploration exploration, which I really do like, and it's a reason as to why this is one of my favorite courses in the game. And as we get the last of the secrets, we also get the 100 coin star as a bonus, since 3 of these secrets will give you a total of 30 coins. For star 4, we need the water drained so that we can lower this elevator and get inside the cage to catch a ride and get the star. Very easy, although the wall kick can be a bit painful. For star 5, we need to have the water level at the top so that we can talk to this Bob-omb and activate the cannon so that we can go past this grate into the mysterious town. With the cannon, we can also get the 2 1-ups located in the stone cylinder, and after blasting ourselves to the town, we get the other 2 lives for our next achievement. Even though we still have to deal with annoying runaway mushrooms. As for the star, we have the red coins, which 7 of them are inside these blocks, and the last one is above the star spawn, which are really not that hard to get and really fun exploration. The final star requires a timed run as we need to vanish through this gate in the town. We also have the switch that will spawn a block that will help you get up the structure, but even without the block, you can just wall kick up the structure and get the final star of one of my favorite courses in the game. Up next, we go into this tiny little painting and emerge into a tall mountain, where our first objective is to reach the top of the mountain. And as we climb the mountain, we talk to a Bob-omb to activate a pretty useless cannon, and as I get close to the top, this happens. As you can see, we got the return of the damn... So I decided to get the 1-up so that I don't have to deal with stupid RNG again, and after collecting 7 mushrooms which involve more mole massacre, we jump on this wall to access the mysterious mountain slide, where we have 2 1-ups at the beginning, one of them being triggered the same way as the second 1-up we got inside of the castle, and the last 2 during the slide. There's one. Oh no! Get back here! Yes! Oh, we got it. Oh, thank God. And after grabbing these mushrooms, we go back to the top and grab the star. Star 2 requires us to scale the mountain again. But before doing that tedious task again, I decided to go for the 100 coin star as well as the red coin star. And as we collect the red coins, we get the warp achievement and go into the slide and get more coins so that the star doesn't spawn in the slide. Going back to star 2, we reach the top, but now we have the worthless task of catching this Yukiki, which will lower this cage, giving us the star. I really don't know why this is a star, and I'm honestly flabbergasted that this star got carried over to DS. Star 3 is a red coin star, but since we already got it, we move on to star 4, where we need to complete the slide in order to reach the star. Or you can just jump from the sledge where the Chakia is to skip the slide and get an achievement. Because we are cheap like that, baby. Star 5 has us scale the mountain again! But instead of reaching the top, we need to press this switch to spawn a block that will ease our access to the star inside the waterfall. And finally, we have star 6, where we need to use the cannon and blast to the mushroom with the star. But if we use the assistance of this fly guy, we can hover to the mushroom and get the bonus achievement alongside the full completion of Tall Mountain. And of course, that is definitely not going to be a pain in the ass later down the road. For the final level of the second floor, we have Tiny Huge Island, which has a very cool gimmick, very reminiscent of Mario Bros. 3, but overall it's just a whatever course to me. And as a rule of thumb, always begin the course on the small island, since traversing it is incredibly easy. For star 1, we go into the downside and take this pipe and kill 5 piranha plants, which unlike the sleepy ones, are very easy to pluck. For star 2, we need to reach the top of the huge island. But as I started this level, I was able to get the first of 3 butterfly 1-ups, which motivated me to get the rest of the butterfly lives. Thankfully, the second batch has a large area, giving you more time to get all 3 bugs before they get out of reach. And as for the third batch, I returned to the tiny island to talk to the Bob-omb and activate the cannon, and then blast myself to this tree on the huge island and miraculously get the third butterfly 1-up. As for the rest of the mushrooms, they're very easy to grab. Although this jump can rip me a new one, because you need to be in the perfect position for the wind to catch you, otherwise it's bye-bye for Mario. And trust me, this will and be incredibly annoying, especially when you go for a specific achievement we'll get later. And as I was getting the last 1-ups, I managed to also get the 100 coin star as well. And after grabbing the last mushroom and having the wind bail on me, because of course it did, we reached the top of the island for our next star. Star 3 sees the return of Koopa the Quick, where you need to race him to the other side of the island past this bridge. And similar to the Bob-omb Battlefield race, here we have the challenge of winning the race in less than 20 seconds. And let's say that my first attempt was an omen for things to come. 1! Ugh. Now, something I found out after getting the achievement is that by switching islands, you can actually retry the race if you go back to Coops. But after getting star 4, which requires you to touch 5 secrets in the small island, we get the warp achievement as well as the star. And then we go against Coops again for the achievement. So yeah, for this part, do not long jump, otherwise you're gonna get stuck. Yes! Oh my god, don't die. Imagine I freaking died. Oh my god, that would have been incredible. And considering that I haven't taken damage yet, and I already have the star, I made my way to Wiggler's Cave and grabbed the red coins for star 5 and another achievement. The final star of the course requires us to ground pound the pool atop of the tiny island, and then go to the huge island in order to get through this hole and fight against Wiggler, where we pound him after getting him all wet. What? Those are his words, not mine. This fight is really easy, and as long as you keep your distance and wait for Wiggler to come to you, you'll beat this worm damageless and get the final star of course 13 and get the 100% completion achievement. So now we reach the 3rd floor where we have the final star from Toad, and here we access course 14, Tick-Tock Clock, which has one of the best gimmicks in the game. Depending on the position of the minute hand, when you enter the course, it will determine the behavior of the level. At 3, everything will be slow. At 9, everything will be fast. At 6, all hazards will have random behaviors. And at 12, everything will be frozen. For star 1, we need to jump inside this cage. Star 2, we have to avoid the pits and pendulums, which I wish the star had more to it. Star 3, we need to get a hand from this hand at the bottom, but because I went to this level at 6, the hand gets all messy and even goes backwards. So I got the star the lame way by jumping from star 1. Star 4 is my absolute favorite star in the game, as we need to reach the top of the level, but because I'm a show-off, I decided to get this one with the time frozen. Here we also go for the 100 coin star as well as the 1-up achievement, which if you have the time moving, this one can be very annoying. But overall, with the time frozen, it's not that deadly. But once we get the 100 coins and the final life, we get a little fancy at the end. There we go. Oh my god, don't fall off. Alright. And there we go. There should have been an achievement that says get the star with the time stop, because star 5 has us jump on time platforms, but just to get out of the way, I decided to get star 6, which is the red coins. Although there is an achievement related to the red coins that I missed, but we'll get it after beating the game. But once we get the red coin star, we go back up and time our jumps on moving platforms to fully complete one of my favorite courses in the game. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the final main course of the game, course 15, Rainbow Ride. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is my least favorite course in the whole game. So to avoid talking about it more than necessary, let's just rapid fire through this tech demo of a stage. Starting off, I aimed for 3 objectives at the start. Get the 100 coin star, the 1-up achievement, and activating the cannon. All the 1-ups will be shown in the bottom left as I go for the cannon by wall kicking my way up the maze. I later get the 100 coin star and then get the last 1-up for the achievement. After that, I went for star 6, which requires blasting through the rainbow and avoiding the Chuckia. Next, I went for star 4 and 5, which are located in the best section of the level. Both these stars have the same platforming introduction, with star 4 having a tricky climb up a slope, and star 5 having to raise the clock on these triangles. But overall, not that difficult. Star 3 is the red coins, which are all in this maze area, which is very easy. And finally, we have star 2, where we have to get to the top of this big house. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a long jump from the donut block, because when you stand on the donut block, the wind will stop blowing. And then we have to... And then... Oh, damn it. Ugh. Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, fine. Oh my god! Oh my god. Was that really so hard? Jesus Christ, man. Screw off, game. Screw off. Oh my god. But now we have star 1, where we have the only challenge achievement of the level, where we have to get this star without using the magic carpets. Why are you not? Why are you not? Long jump. There we go. Lucky 2, you better not screw me over. I swear to God, okay. Alright, so now we got the hard part. And that is to try to get to that platform. And I say hard part because I don't know why, but I struggle so hard to get to the top. Now that being said, I could just do a triple jump. Yeah, there we go. But there we go. We completed the worst level in the game, and we got honestly one of the more fun levels in the game. If I'm being, or one of the most fun achievements in the set, if I'm being completely honest. So once my sanity returns after the cluster that was Star 2 and somewhat Star 1, we go into the last extra level of the game, Wing Mario Over the Rainbow, where we have more red coins as well as the final cannon activation, which will give us an achievement. And here we also have another 1-up achievement where the 1-ups are not that bad. Maybe with the exception of the last one I got, since these poles can be very treacherous. But as for the red coins, as long as you refresh your wing cap every once in a while, this star is really not that bad. But now we have the final stage of the game, Bowser in the Sky. And here we have the final damageless achievement as well as the last hard 1-up achievement. Unlike the previous Bowser levels, we can get every single 1-up on the first go. And I decided to get this achievement before focusing on the damageless achievement. I will say that the only annoying 1-up is the first one where you have this platform with the amp, especially considering that the 1-up fucking runs away, because of course it does. But besides that, the rest of the 1-ups are more manageable. So once I got the final 1-up, I also managed to get the red coin star, which is the final star of the game, giving me 2 more achievements. One for getting all 120 stars, and one for getting all castle power stars. So now that we got the stars and 1-ups, we reset the level and get back to the top and finish this game and doing the last damageless achievement. And we got one of the best organs since Ganon's Tower, even though this predates Ocarina. So long, gay Bowser. And yes, I know he says King Bowser, but whatever, I don't care. Oh, that was off. Alright, now we gotta be careful because now, yeah, he's gonna do some shockwaves. And this is actually good because with his charge attack, we can just lure him. Imagine I missed. Oh my god, that would have been so funny. Alright. So now when the final hit is remaining, he will destroy basically all platforms so that the platform is now a star. And you're not gonna make the... Oh my god, that was terrible. Also, yeah, be careful because the... Oh god, why? Because these shockwaves have a very finicky hitbox. Okay. Oh my... Oh my god. Yeah, don't touch him, otherwise we're gonna get hit, so... Dude! I'm so bad at this game. And... Ole! Oh, I thought I didn't grab him. So yeah, my timing is to press B, like, when he, like, about, I don't want to say 45 degrees, but like, maybe 20. So right here, I want to let go when Bowser's, like, on the front. He's facing forward. Like that, see? And that is game. Oh my god, that is incredible. First try on the Bowser fight. Just you wait until next time. Until then, keep that control stick smoking. Well, I'll keep it smoking for Mario Party, if that actually is a If that's actually an omen of things to come. But there we go. We got the last flawless achievement, and we beat the game. After the credits roll, we have 3 more things to tackle before mastering the game. The first is to get the red coin achievement in TikTok Clock, where we have to collect the red coin star with the time being at 9. And this one relies a lot on trial and error and hope that Mario will not slip like a moron. The second thing is to return to Cool Cool Mountain, where we pay a visit to the penguin in the cottage who is now a thick boy. And if we race him again and win, we'll get another achievement. The final step is outside the castle, where we have the final 1-up achievement, which involves 2 more butterfly badges. That after getting both 1-ups, we get the rest, which are not that bad. And then we make it to the top of the castle thanks to this cannon, where we can get the last 3 1-ups, get the last achievement, and then get to talk to Yoshi and receive not only 100 lives and a super triple jump, but we also get the greatest typo in gaming and get the final achievement and finally master Super Mario 64. Despite all my grievances with this game, this may actually sound controversial, but I'm giving this set a 10 out of 10 for quality. I really love the different challenge achievements for every main course and some side courses. And even though some 1-ups for the 1-up achievements can be incredibly annoying, like the ones that run away or the butterfly ones, despite that, the damageless red coin achievements were not that terrible, and the platforming achievements like the box delivery in Shifting Sandland, red coins in Dire, and no carpet from Rainbow Ride were definitely the highlights of the set for me. Yes, I actually gave a compliment to Rainbow Ride. That said, because the Mario 64 is filled with annoying aspects like invisible walls, bad collision, possibly one of the worst cameras I've ever experienced in a video game, and the worst wall jumping in the series, some achievements became a bit infuriating, to the point that sometimes death will not be your fault. So because of that, I'll give this set a 9 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. This set will test your Super Mario 64 abilities, and you'll end up as an expert on this game, hopefully, especially if you want to tackle 64 ROM hacks. And because by mastering this game I ended up pulling some sick tricks and started to tolerate this game again, I'll give this game a 7 out of 10 in terms of fun. There are still some annoying achievements like certain 1-up achievements and strict ones like the Princess Slide Time, but if you manage to pull them off, the rest of the game is manageable and it can honestly get fun. And as for the hardest achievement of the set, there were a lot of candidates, but in the end, I'll go with Mario's speedrun on the island by winning against Koopa the Quick in 20 seconds or less in Tiny Huge Island, mainly because of the strict timer as well as the fact that the camera and the windy breach can screw you over. Even after mastering this game, my stance on Mario 64 remains the same. It is my least favorite 3D Mario game, and I would rather play the DS remake, which adds more content and fixes almost every problem I have with the original game. There are things I do like about this game, like how you can perform wall jumps from a long jump, which I believe it's the only game that allows you to do this, and the triple jump is one of the easiest to pull off. But because of the arcade controls and the god-awful camera, I dread the time when I eventually master certain Mario 64 ROM hacks, with level design not fitting for this game's control and camera. Looking at you, Star Road. Big thanks to Sporky Tyke, Samurai Goro, Adele, and Warrior TYS for making this set. And now that I finally mastered this game, unfortunately the floodgates shall now open as we now open the way for more Mario 64 content. Wait, why is there more video left? Well, as it turns out, we are not done yet, since I completely forgot to talk about the subset for Mario 64, which has a whopping 5 subsets. Those 5 are the speedrunning showcase, where we have to get certain stars under a certain time and also do a lot of BLJs and clipping through the game. We have the lazy Lakitu subset, where if you don't enjoy the camera of this game, now you have to deal with a camera that doesn't move at all, so hoorah! We have the A button challenge, where you need to collect all stars under a specific amount of A button presses, which honestly pisses me off that Watch for Falling Rock does not have a funny achievement title. We have the bonus subset, which has a variety of achievements, which makes me question why they were not on the main set. But finally, we have the last subset and the top pick for this section of the video, the coin collector subset, where we need to collect every single coin in all 15 main courses and the 3 Bowser stages. Now, you may be wondering, why am I doing this subset? Well, to give you some context, around 2022, the main set had a whopping 132 achievements, which included this subset, plus other achievements like getting Star from Wom's Fortress without blasting away the wall, which, fun fact, that achievement was the reason I dropped this set back in the day. But after some uproar from the community, the set went through a lot of revisions, to the point that they moved a lot of achievements to the bonus subset, like the one from blasting away the wall, only to then create a subset dedicated to the coin collector achievements, which was then carried over to Super Mario Sunshine, will be featured in Mario Galaxy by the time of this video, and 3 days ago, as of writing this part of the script, Mario 64 DS got coin collector achievements for its bonus subset. Should have been a subset of its own, but I'll complain when we get to that game. Now, to be completely honest, out of the 18 achievements of this subset, only 3 to 4 of them I would consider them as hard, while the rest of them are extremely easy or have 1 or 2 tough sections when it comes to getting all coins. So what I'm gonna do for this subset is just blaze through each level, mention the 1 or 2 sections, and then rate the achievement by how hard it was to get. No, please, not that song. I am so sick and tired of this stupid song. Let's have a music more better, so to speak. Since there are no bottomless pits, this one is very easy, although getting the coins from the Chimchom post can be very tricky with Fido lunging at you, and the horrendous draw distance of the coins in the sky can be extremely tedious to get all of them. But besides that, for being the first one, it's very easy. 3 out of 10. Make sure you jump on the Woms for 5 extra coins before you ground pound on them. Besides that, this is another easy stage. 3 out of 10. If you go for the 100 coin star, you'll get this achievement by default, as missing blue coins from the Switch means an instant reset. 1 out of 10. By far the hardest of the first floor. The first thing you want to do is kill the spin dust at the wall kick area, since the coins tend to fall into the abyss most of the time. After that, clear out either the rest of the mountain or go directly to the slide so that you don't have to trigger the 100 coin star at a bad moment. But even with the star spawn, the slide is not that hard as long as you take your time. 6 out of 10. For the Bowser stages, you need to get the coins before the Bowser fight. The reason I say this is because you can grab coins during the Bowser fights to the point that you can actually end up with 999 coins. But for the focus of these achievements, you must do it during the stage. With that in mind, Dark World is the first instance of enemies like Goombas and Bob-ombs just walking off the edge and falling into the abyss, forcing a reset. But as long as you take focus on the Goombas and then clear out the rest of the level, this makes it the easiest of the Bowser stages. 5 out of 10. Outside of the water levels, this is by far the easiest coin collector of the entire set. The only tough part are the books that you have to hit them from below, but besides that, getting every coin is stupid easy. 2 out of 10. The only hard part of this level is the Scuttlebug and the Swooper in the Falling Rock section, but if you manage to get those coins, this level is not hard at all. Just scary because of the potential jank that will drop you into a pit. 3 out of 10. And here we have our first level with a point of no return, as entering the volcano will lock you until you enter another course, exit said course, or get a star. There are 107 coins outside and the remaining 26 are inside the volcano. Now to be fair, this level is overall not that bad, and if you use the shell that spawns in stars 5 and 6, this level would be a 5 out of 10. However, we need to address the bullshit in the lava pit, and that is the motherfucking bullies. These stupid black balls are the most insufferable enemies in this entire game. So the usual aspect of bullies is, after dropping them into the lava, the coin they spit out will try to land in the last place the bully was standing. However, if the bully dies too far away from the platform, the coin will not make it to the platform and fall into the lava. Or in the worst case, if the bully dies close to the platform, the coin will bounce off the fucking platform and it will land on the fucking lava, which you have to either leap towards it before it touches the lava and despawns, or you just have to reset the level because fuck you for killing the bully too close. Now, overall, the bullies on the outside are not that bad, since you can lure them to an edge and just push them into the fiery death and grab the coin no problem. However, you may notice I said the bullies on the outside. And that is because someone at Nintendo thought it would be a good idea to place 2 bullies inside the volcano, where you have to push them down this platform in order to get the coin more easily, and push the second one at an angle so that it lands on the platform back at the beginning, where you need to do a leap of faith if you want to get the coin. I'm not gonna lie to you when I say that these 2 bullies are the biggest reason I wanted to skip this subset. just because of the sheer RNG when it comes to the direction the coins will go after killing these bullies. However, considering that Galaxius and Pajama John managed to actually get these, I would be considered a fake RetroAchievement YouTuber for actually skipping this. So, after a whopping 40 goddamn minutes of trial and error and the first bully giving me a big load of shit, just for the sake of having health. Land on the thing. Oh. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Oh my god, I did it! 10 out of fucking 10. Fuck this level. Similar to Lethal Lava Land, you want to collect the coins outside before entering the pyramid, the total being 74. I do recommend picking star 1 so that Klepto doesn't bother you when you try to get the coins near his area. But once you get inside the pyramid, the rest of the coins are incredibly easy to get. 3 out of 10. Similar to Jolly Roger, if you go for the 100 coin start, you'll get this one no problem. Just make sure you've learned to do the quick swim so that you don't get stuck by the whirlpool or the giant hole in the sub area. Now with the metal cap, I'll give this a 2, but because I was stubborn and didn't use the metal cap, I'll actually up it up and go for a 3 out of 10. Easily the hardest of the Bowser stages, mainly because of the, once again, fucking bullies. This bully in particular is a complete bitch since you have to repeat the leap of faith from Lethal Lava Land. But besides that, this one is not that bad, although I would recommend you take your time at the end just so you don't have to deal with the bullies again. 7 out of 10. With the exception of this fucking coin coffer's coins going all over the place, this one is not that bad. And because you can exit the igloo at any time, you don't have to get every coin before entering the igloo. That said, getting the spineless in the water can be very scary since there may not be a way to get to the shell. However, there is always a way. I got a better idea. Oh, I did it! Yay! Look at that. 4 out of 10. Make sure you have 107 coins before heading into the town, otherwise you cannot go back and have to reset. But besides that, this one is stupid easy. 2 out of 10. Do the slide first. If you get every coin outside but screw up at this junction, you have to do everything again. There are 62 coins in the slide, and once you clear out the slide, immediately get the coins from the bob-ombs, since they tend to walk off the cliff for no reason, especially these two assholes, which are right next to the red coin area. But besides that, the rest is not that bad. But mainly because of the slide and the stupid bob-omb AI, this goes for an 8 out of 10. Do the tiny island first. The tiny Goombas are so annoying to kill, especially because if you don't kill them with a jump, if they bump into you, they will die and you will lose the coin forever. Not to mention that this Goomba with the fucking flame chomp is contender for one of the worst enemy placements in the entire game. After collecting the 33 coins from the tiny island, you can head into the huge island and get the remaining coins. However, do not go into Wiggler's arena until you have 181 coins, since you can exit the arena once you enter it. Besides that, as long as you ground pound the big Goombas, the only two bad spots are this fly guy with the rolling balls, and this part where you need to trust the wind in hopes that it catches you, or just long jump from the ledge leading to the Wiggler cave to make it safely every single time. I am so happy I actually managed to find this out and not having to struggle with this stupid wind. 9 out of 10. If you enter at 12, this one is very easy. Just make sure you stay clear of bullshit invisible walls that may drop you into your death. Other than that, not that bad. Although try not to have the 100 coin star spawn in with these coins. Otherwise, the coins will tend to fly away for no reason. 4 out of 10. At the start, I highly suggest to do these things first. Kill the fly guy next to the pole, get the Lakitu on a slow rotating platform, defeat both bombs in the maze, and get the blue coin switch. After that, do the areas in whatever order you want. 6 out of 10. The only tough part is the coins from the Womp once you kill him, and these two bombs right before the end, where I was able to grab this bomb right as he was about to kill himself. But besides that, this one is very doable and not that bad. 7 out of 10. And because this is the last level, by grabbing the last red coin in the stage, we will be able to get the last achievement and master the coin collecting subset for Super Mario 64. So to quickly review this set, a part of me wishes we could have more levels for this subset, like the cap levels for example, or the aquarium next to Jolly Roger, especially considering that the castle slide has a coin collector achievement as part of the main set. So I wish we could have more, but because it's just the main 15 courses and the Bowser stages, I'll give this set a 6 in quality. That being said, if it was just the 15 courses, this would have been a 5. Like I said before doing the subset, there are 3 to 4 levels where getting all coins is really hard, while the rest of them are stupid easy or have 1 or 2 tough sections. And because of that, I'll give a 7 for the difficulty of the set. And as for fun, getting every coin will get tedious, especially with levels that are big and have points of no return. But overall, if you manage to get the Lethal Lava Line achievement, the rest of them are incredibly doable and don't rely in RNG. But because of the amount of repetition and somewhat random effect as to where the coins will land, especially with these stupid tiny Goombas, I'll give the fun a 6. It was fun, but at the same time, this is a subset I am not doing again. And as for the hardest achievement of the subset, even though Tiny Huge took me longer, a whopping an hour and a half, at least with that level, we didn't have to rely on coins landing on a hazard that got rid of them. So because of that, I'm giving Treasure 7 for getting all coins in Lethal Lava Land the title for the hardest achievement in this subset. Alright. Now we can end this video proper. And because the multi-set feature is out of beta, this means that mastering subsets alongside main sets will become much simpler. Which, in all fairness, I should have waited before doing Mario 64 just to get the coin collecting subset and the main set done simultaneously. But at the same time, I thought the beta was going to last longer, but at the same time, better late than never. So I'm not complaining. Big thanks to Layton for creating this subset, and I have to say right now, because the multi-set feature is now a thing, I actually love that while I was reviewing the set, I actually did get an achievement for the bonus subset for Mario is Falling Asleep, which is really funny. And before you ask, no, I'm not doing the bonus subset, even if I reach 1 million subscribers. Thanks for watching this RetroAchievements Mastery video on Super Mario 64. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more RetroAchievement Masteries, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified on future Masteries. For our next game, we return to the Kirby franchise and master Kirby's Adventure for the NES, which contains an achievement so awful that I spent almost 2 hours in getting it when I first mastered this game on my personal account. In fact, I was thinking of skipping this game just because of that achievement. But then I said, if I master this game, I don't think about it ever again, unless I decide to have a similar achievement when the 3DS port comes in, which in that case, my life is terrible and I want to just die. But I guess we have to wait for it to happen. But with that said, I'm Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in my next Retro Achievement Mastery. Later, Retro Achievers, and take it easy.